Welcome to the Living Authentically podcast, where we talk about living an authentic and meaningful, spiritually based life. I'm John Siddique, and it's wonderful to connect with you. This podcast doesn't have any set formula, so you'll get to hear interviews, reflections, talks, and sometimes even just music. But it's all with the heartful basis of supporting and inspiring you to realize the highest truth within you. If you wish to know more about our work, head over to www.authenticliving.live. Hi, I'm John. In this episode, I want to share with you a personal reflection on change, fatherhood, and how to be authentic in this, our world, and also on how keeping up a meditation practice over a long period of time can benefit you. There'll then be a short interlude for a piece of music by yours truly called In Balance, and then, if you'd like to practice with me, there's a 15-minute meditation session to help you feel the connection of life that runs through your family line, that's led to your life in this moment, and that will flow outward from here. You never know when your life is going to completely change. We often tend to think that we can create strategies for all the eventualities of life, but life proves over and over again that it has its own ideas and deeper intelligence, and can pretty much swoop in and things can change at any moment. And actually, this is a good thing. I'd like to take a few minutes to tell you about something astonishing along these lines that happened to me at the Mindful Living show in London in March that has changed everything. And I'd like to reflect for a few minutes on how meditation has helped me with the dimensions around this change. My own interest in meditation, both as a teacher and as an eternal student, goes far beyond its use as a tool and back to the ancient roots of meditation being about answering life's two great questions. Who am I, and what am I here for? In other words, bringing about the realization of our true nature. I'm only interested in what can really help us. I have no time for anything else. My spiritual practice is centered around turning up as best I can each moment, living a soul-led authentic life, which is signified by the movement from fear-based existing to love-based being. Change is our constant, and all our plans and strategies, our statuses, identities, tribes, even our money, are not always reliable currencies in the land of change. This is where meditation really perhaps is most helpful around navigating change, vulnerability, and answering the questions of life itself. That day, I had no idea that my life was about to change. I'd just come off stage after guiding 200 lovely people in meditation and was leaving the hall to go get a cup of Earl Grey tea in the cafe when a young man approached me. He'd been sitting at the back of the hall waiting for a chance to speak with me throughout the morning, but I'd not seen him until now. The second I saw him, I knew who he was. It was my son, AJ. We'd been missing from each other's lives for 25 years. His first ever words to me were, "Can I come for a cup of tea with you?" Can you imagine how it must have been for him getting himself there, sitting in that hall throughout the meditation? I'm not going to tell you anything about the situation that led to AJ not being in my life or me in his. Things are what they are. If we live by holding on to stories too much, we don't meet life in the moment, nor can we meet each other with any openness. What I can tell you is that I had nothing up my sleeves that I could rely on at that moment. I didn't suddenly think, oh, I'd better be mindful. I simply put my arms around my son for the first time in a quarter of a century and we held each other for a long time. And then we did go for that cup of tea. For the longest time, I had the feeling that AJ would turn up. I had long resisted going to try to find him. Something had always told my heart to wait and allow. I actually had no idea where he was, and he seemed to have no online presence whenever I searched for his name. By the way, I'm writing this with his full permission. After we were parted, before his first birthday, I fell terribly ill with a complete breakdown and was very close to being hospitalized. I already was a meditator, but I can honestly say that I had such a legacy of family pain and dysfunction that I thought was me, that this loss took me right over the edge. Now here we are, 25 years later, and we've been in contact for 3 months or so, seeing each other when possible, keeping in touch each week. So I want to reflect on the question, how has my spiritual practice, my meditation, been of use in all of this? So I'd like to share with you 3 things that I can observe that meditation and spiritual practice has been helpful with. After my illness, meditation began allowing me to see that I was not the person my mind thought I was. And as I began to reach soul level, which was largely a case of shedding things rather than adding other identities to myself, I could see the psychological, physical, and spiritual work that I needed to do to actually heal my life. I gave up hanging on to stories of being the victim of my past, and I began leaning into the work for its own sake, not knowing if I'd even make it to the next moment sometimes. All I wanted was to be present in my own life instead of living through all this stuff. This process is what has allowed me to be successful on my own terms and not be a wreck when AJ turned up. Can you imagine being the kind of person who holds on to bitterness and stories for 25 years? How that would shape and warp everything in your life. If I'd have lived that life, we would not have really met that day. He would have met my identities, my victimhood, my righteousness, anger, projections. My second observation is that presence kicked in the very moment I recognized him. I found myself completely with him in the moment. We talked in the cafe for over 2 hours, both emotionally overwhelmed and not knowing what to say, but being met being. It's never about what we say, it's always about presence and being here with the other person. Authenticity can never be faked. The space in myself allowed space for my son, whether angry, sad, overwhelmed, blank. Here he was, here we are, and presence gave us the room to be together. The past wasn't important, love is now. Love too can never be faked, and is not a product of the mind, but is the natural expression of being. Meditation doesn't make you a feelingless robot. You feel everything, but you know that you're feeling it. After our meeting, I had to be completely out of the world for a few days. Here too, meditation gently let me return day by day to the new life. And thirdly, as the months now unfold, meditation allows me to meet the impossible questions and new, previously unknown feelings of being a father by being an open space with this wonderful young man, my son, as we learn each other from the ground up. Meditation takes me beyond judgment and drama to the core of what is. We are alive now, we are here, and come what may, the space of life holds all that we are. We make our plans for life, but we have to choose to be here, to do the work. If we listen, life will always show us what we need. Fear or love, react or respond, be lost in stories and drama, or be here now, The choice is ours. Meditation is about our lives and our real love, and removing anything in us that stands in the way of them both. Bless you for listening. I wish you all the love in the world. So in a couple of minutes we'll be sitting down for meditation. And just while you get ready, I'd like to share with you a piece of music called Imbalance, which is from my Self-Acceptance Through Authenticity course on Insight Timer. Welcome to this meditation to help us feel the thread of life that runs through us and back in time through our parents and through all of our ancestors, and yet exists in the eternal now. This is a 15-minute meditation, so I invite you to sit comfortably. And if you feel like, you can close your eyes, place your hands in your lap, and just allow yourself to be here. Just allow yourself to be here, rather than make yourself. And you can feel the ground beneath your feet. You're aware of your weight going down into the seat, aware of your lower back, your middle back, your upper back, aware of your shoulders, aware of your arms, aware of your hands, aware of the back of your neck, the back of your head, aware of the sides of your head and the top of your head, allowing your forehead to be soft, allowing your eyes to be soft, your mouth to be soft, being aware of your throat center, your chest, your abdomen, your whole body. And of course, you're aware of your breath moving at your abdomen. Just becoming aware of your breath moving at your abdomen. We don't try to change the breath in any way. We simply notice that we're already breathing. We're not trying to make ourselves settle or create an experience of a meditation. We're just coming into presence. Notice how the energy of your mind feels. Not getting involved with this thought or that thought, or trying to stop your thoughts, but simply noticing the energy of your thoughts without judgment. And we can rest back into the noticing. Same with your emotions. What is the energy of your emotions like? And just noticing how that feels and resting back into the noticing. Aware of how your body feels. And resting back into the noticing. And you can hear the sounds in the room, the sound of my voice. And notice that you can hear the space in between each sound, behind each sound. And you notice the sense of hearing, how it comes into your consciousness and is met with pure awareness before the mind moves and names and labels things. And the same with each of your senses. The air in your nostrils, the taste in your mouth, the light coming in through your open or closed eyes, the feeling of your clothes against your skin. Not trying to have an experience, just gathering awareness, deepening into your natural awareness. Notice the sense of deepening presence that is happening just because you're allowing yourself to settle and to witness. And perhaps you can feel the feeling of life in your body, the feeling of space. Just resting into the feeling of life in the body. Just being aware that it's not your mind creating a sense of life in the body, but that you are simply feeling the life in your body, perhaps as warmth, as energy, as spaciousness, or as just life itself. This life in the space of every atom and every cell of your being. And of course, your life at this moment is the proof of that life. And notice how this feels for you. Perhaps there's a sense of something original, of something new, of something that you've always known, but is of the now. No effort, just simply feeling the life that is creating you right now. And of course, it is this sense of life, this life itself, that has created you your whole life. That moved within your parents before you even had a name, so that you could be here now. And gently, without judgment or criticism, without story, allowing the sense of the life of your parents, noticing that the same sense of life that is in you is the life that created them. Life moved in them so that life could move in you. And life moved in their parents, and the parents before them, and on and on. Always life. Always just life coming first. And so allowing yourself to rest in the eternal now and the life of your family line. The parents are the bow, and the child is the arrow, and the archer is life itself. Not visualizing, not creating, just simply being in life. And feeling the sense of life in your parents and your ancestors. And if you have children, the life within your children. Ever present, unfolding, perfect. Now simply letting this go. And and just being in presence with the life within you. Your breath moving at your abdomen. In a moment, this meditation will end, but you can carry on sitting for as long as you would like. Or if you need to go on with your day, then simply do so. But before we move back into mind and stories and things we have to do, just taking a few more seconds, noticing that we haven't been anywhere, that we're simply fully in life right now, and in everything that we do, we're fully in life. And so there's no need to pick up the stories again in the same way. And perhaps just before you move on, you can allow your eyes to open and view the people or the world around you from this place of life, this place of beauty and originality. Thank you for meditating with me. Bless you. Have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for listening to the Living Authentically podcast. If you'd like to know more about my work, head over to www.authenticliving.live, where you can sign up for our newsletter and find out more about upcoming retreats and so on. If you'd like to meditate with me more often, then please check out the practices on the website or on the Insight Timer meditation app. I also share live classes on the beautiful new Meditation.Live app. And if you like the music that opened and is now closing this broadcast, it's called Continuum. It's also by yours truly and is on Spotify, Tidal, and all your favourite streaming platforms, as well as on Apple Music and so on for download. In balance, the piece before the meditation is available to listen to on Insight Timer. Thank you again for listening. Bless you. See you soon.